Hey, Gemini, and happy 2024. How you doing? How's it treating you? Oh, I'm Madeline, by the way, if we haven't met before. I'm excited to read for you. And as usual, we're going to get right into the story of your month told in tarot cards, and we will cap off the reading by pulling a couple of direction cards for you from the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck, just to round things out. So, I gotta say, I know that it's like, yay, 2024 and it's new year and we're writing the numbers on all the things and stuff. And I want to just gently remind everybody that it is winter and that I'm not discouraging you from starting any new great things, new great habits. It's always a good time to start a new habit. It is literally always a good time to start a new habit. And we can ride awesome collective kind of energy wave of the whole planet of people turning the year and all that stuff. And there is a lot that we may leave on the table if we skip the winter phase and jump right into spring kind of energy. You know what I'm talking about? There might be some cycles that you would like to end on purpose. So I will leave that there. Just want to invite you to that because that is what I will be doing. I will be celebrating the new year on the spring equinox. But okay. Let's get into your cards, shall we? And I want to invite you, Gemini, if you would like to take a deep breath. Maybe close your eyes if you are in a place where that feels comfortable. And as I'm shuffling your cards and tuning into your energy and the energy of your people, I want to invite you to set an intention to receive a message during this reading. Maybe there is something particular on your mind, maybe there's not. But if there is something that you've been waiting to receive some guidance around, I invite you to set an intention to receive information about that. Okay? So, Spirit, you've been hanging out with Gemini. You've been watching, you've been listening, you've been speaking. What do you want to share with Gemini people in the month of January 2024, Spirit? Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising, and Dominant people. What do you want to share with Gemini folks for their highest good in the month of January? Spirit, we want to provide them love, liberation. We want to lead them toward contentment, ease, peace, security, abundance. What do you want to share with them to help them make the most of January 2024? Perfect. Okay. Gemini. To their highest good. Wow, look at that. Any of y'all have Aquarius placements? Hey, we'd love to see it. Love to see it. Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Listen, we just talked about winter and what can be left on the table if we're not utilizing the symbolism and the rhythm, the earth-given rhythm of this cycle. Your center of your reading is Seven of Pentacles. Pause. Take a step back. Reflect on what's been growing over the past year in your life. What's been working. You know, a lot of things been growing. That's what Spirit's saying. So it's like things that are good, fruits, you know, trees, etc. Those kinds of things been growing. And there are probably also some invasive species or things like that that are going on in your life that you might need to pull a few weeds. You know, again, we want to get right to spring, but it's like if we were to plant something right now, it wouldn't be the best time. We want to get the soil ready. How can you prepare the soil of your new year over the course of January? That's what Spirit is asking, because abundance is available. Crossing your reading, 10 of Pentacles. Taking a little time out to look at what's working and what's not working and what needs to be adjusted so that you can move forward with more joie de vivre, more joy, more speed, more etc. It's not even about speed. It's like with the correct attention and intention, right? For you to do that, to take that pause, could bring in such great abundance and such great peace and fulfillment. Something else about the Ten of Pentacles that is coming through is your family is safe. Your family is protected. I don't know who needs to hear that during this month, but it's coming through, so I'm sharing it with you, Gemini. There will be more than enough. It feels like you're probably facing some fears, facing some anxieties, facing some changes. And change is hard, even when it's good, right? So, sitting in the basement of your reading, the Chariot, the card of victory, the card of overcoming obstacles, and even better, making the obstacles into the way. Okay? Something I feel like Spirit has said for Gemini before, and they're saying it again as I look at this card. That is so weird. Okay, let's look at the crowning card. The Devil, our shadow, our fears, our doubts, the things that keep us low, addicted, confined artificially. Dead-end jobs, toxic relationships, no-win situations, right? The chains are loose. They could pick them up and take them off if they want to, but they are so firmly under the sway of this energy and this idea that they maybe don't even look down and notice that they have an opportunity to move some things around. You are not going to be that ignorant. I also feel that, Gemini, there are certain chains that some of you have already removed or that got broken off, taken off of you, perhaps without even your permission. So sitting in the past, 10 of Swords, the ending of something and a painful, like the end of a long and painful journey. So what I'm actually hearing right away for some of you is like getting fired or let go from jobs. For some of you, that's coming through very strongly. And I'm not, listen, we're talking about the past. I'm not resonating with any of this coming for you all. I'm talking about some of y'all have been through that form of rigmarole and just like, I'm flat on the floor. I did everything that I could and I still lost. I still feel defeated, right? And for others of you, you're going through that because that's the mental game that your shadow likes to play with you. You know, depression is a lie. The devil is a lie, as they say. And when I say depression, what I mean is like depression is a liar. It will tell you that you're worthless. It will tell you that nothing you do means anything. It will tell you that all of that good stuff that you've put into the world, it was totally meaningless and nobody cared and nobody noticed and blah 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 blah. If you have anxiety and depression speaking to you right now, first of all, my understanding, my love to you, that is difficult, and face them squarely. Have conversations with them. Do not avoid them. Do not avoid those shadowy and fearful places or even those defeated places. What story, Spirit is asking, what story are you telling yourself about that 10 of Swords moment? Are you telling yourself that that relationship or that job or that opportunity that ended or abruptly was taken from you because you're not good enough? Or you did something wrong, or etc., because that's not accurate. There are many reasons that something can be not for us as much as we can want it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's not in service of the evolution of your soul, so that's not what you're going to get. Or whatever. You know what I mean? It's not about, oh, if only you'd been a little braver. Oh, if only you'd been a little more willing to, no. This was done. This was difficult. You are going to get something so much better, but you have to be willing to kind of take a leap of faith and do it differently. That's what I'm hearing. It's like the way that we handle our fear, the way that we handle our resources, the way that we close up cycles and move on deliberately, which is what winter is for. Those things, spoiler alert, bring us toward a future of abundance where there is plenty, plenty, plenty. Look, doesn't he match that 10 of Pentacles so nicely? This is you, Gemini. being able to show up as a provider, whether that's for yourself or for your whole family. Like you being able to say, wow, I have a gift, a skill, a craft, whatever my pentacle is, that if I use it correctly, cultivate it properly, spend it, or rather sell it at the right price, that the wealth is endless, the resources become endless. You know, Spirit is asking me something that they asked Aquarius, so I'm curious if any of you have Aquarius placements, because they're saying, like, where is your apple tree? And what I mean by that is, Spirit was talking about, we all have a place in us that is like an apple tree, where it's just like, oh, this good stuff just falls right off. It's really easy for me to be a great communicator, or it's really easy for me to paint, or it's really easy for me to organize other people's stuff, or whatever, where it's like, oh, it's just easy. That fruit just falls off of me. That's where some of your abundance is. So maybe it's your commentary. Maybe it's a literal trade or craft or skill, something that you do with your hands. When I look at the King of Pentacles, I think of that. I think of, you know, everything from carpenters to bakers. So let that roll around in your head. Where you find yourself moving on from the past, a difficult time. I mean, how much more difficult does it get than this? So pulling the swords out of your body. You don't need to take them all. You notice you're not taking all 10 swords with you. You're only taking 6. So almost half of these swords can simply go and simply get chalked up to, that fucking sucked. Doesn't need further examination, right? But these 6 swords, I'm taking the lessons with me, not the wounds. I'm not going to carry these 6 lessons in my body, these difficult things that happened to me. I'm not going to carry them in my body. I'm going to deliberately pull them out. It's winter. It's time to let things die off on purpose. So I'm going to go ahead and let that wound close. By pulling the sword, the lesson out, I take it with me as I go forward, but I heal from the wounds because I've removed the swords. So sort things out. Sword things out. I know, I hate me too. The energy around and available to you, it matches. Things like retreat and regroup, things dropping and moving on. What I'm hearing is, don't be surprised, Gemini, if certain things in your life do drop off or move on kind of abruptly. And you got to trust that if you are facing your fears, thinking about where you really want to go, aiming in that direction, taking the reins and going, that some stuff is going to fall away and move out of your way, and it won't all be the things that you want to. You know, some of it will be, and some of it'll be like, damn, I really wanted to be able to keep that friendship to get to this thing, but that didn't end up happening for me. Try to hang loose. That's what I'm hearing. Try to hang loose. Stay with what your ultimate goal is. And I want to be specific. Spirit's like, we don't, by ultimate goal, we don't mean I want to make this amount of money per year. We're talking about more like, I want to feel like this. I want to experience this. I want to walk around in this type of living situation. I want this to be the kind of work day that I have. Really getting into like the 3D, like sound, taste, smell, blah, 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 of what you want, and bringing that into this moment as much as possible. So it's like, if I want to be a famous podcaster, right? What can I do in this moment to bring that in? I can open up a social media account with the name of it. I can record my first episode and I can share it, right? I'm not going to wait until, you know, the limo pulls up and somebody goes, we've discovered you. You know, your FBI agent said you're hilarious, so we want to have you do a podcast and pay you $1 million. That'd be nice, right? How do we bring it into the now? Bring it into now. That's what the King of Pentacles knows how to do. If you took everything away from this person, their whole kingdom, tomorrow you would see them beginning to build and grow and cultivate a new kingdom, and they would have one again quicker than you'd probably think, because it's not about their resources. Those are intangible, or rather those are tangible. It's about his intangible resourcefulness. Sitting on the other side of that in your future, justice. making smart decisions that bring your life into better harmony, into more balance. Don't choose based on fear. That will limit you. Don't, basically, I'm saying don't make a choice to avoid something else. Make a choice that feels like I am in alignment with this, so I'm going to do this. Not like, oh, I don't want them to get mad, so I'm going to say this. Or, oh, I don't want work to demote me, so I'm going to do this. It's like if it doesn't feel aligned, if it doesn't feel true, if it doesn't feel like like you're moving toward the chariot, like you're moving in at least the direction where you're pulling the reins, then don't do it. Hear me? Okay? Okay. What is on the other side when you are willing to take stock of what is working for you, what your value is, what your skill is, what your resources are? Face your fears and your limiting beliefs, and then move deliberately in the opposite direction of those. You're not moving away from them, you're not ignoring them, you're taking them with you. The chariot brings the fears and the doubts right along with the goals and the skills, the dark and the light. This way, they both propel me forward. I'm not trying to pull with the white sphinx while the black sphinx is pulling against me. We're all getting on the same side. Where does that lead? It leads to happiness. It leads to joy. It leads to, my cups runneth over. People live and die to get the 10 of Pentacles and the 10 of Cups in a reading individually, let alone together. So Gemini, are you willing to really believe in yourself and to dream bigger? Are you willing to be really brave when it comes to pursuing what it is you want and facing the truth and moving away from what's no longer working for you and moving in a direction that is much more fertile? That's what I'm feeling. It's not going to work the old way, so we got to move in a new direction. Let's accept that. Let's welcome that. And when we work with that energy, instead of working against it, amazing things become available. Okay? Okay. Now, let's pull a couple cards from the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck. Wow, these just came right out. Wow. Okay. Geez. Beautiful. Saturn. Structure. And Leo. Shine. You are going to shine when you have the right structure underneath you, alongside you, supporting you. Structure will help you shine. What kind of rules and organization can you make to make that possible? I don't know why Spirit keeps highlighting this idea of speaking in public about something that you know. Again, for some of you that can look like a podcast, for some of you that can look like writing. There's many different ways that you can get a message across, and that's what I'm hearing. So you let me know, Gemini. What does all this mean to you? Is this ringing any bells? Are you like, oh, I know exactly what this is? It feels a little unconventional, and that can be a little scary to be like, oh, this is kind of a weird path or an off the beaten path type path. I say do it. But then again, I'm a weirdo, so I'm biased. Thank you for being here, Gemini. I really hope that this reading is helpful for you. And if I don't see you in a reading before then I hope that I will see you in next week's reading. Bye, Gemini.